practical diplomacy. Any civilian who thinks of diplomacy usually thinks of situations defined by the well-known protocol attitudes and behaviors. I understand that this is the general picture that people see, but obviously it is only a superficial, theatrical way of seeing it all. Protocol rules and guidelines exist for a reason. This reason is that different communities manage their issues differently. And when they interact, these different modus operandi can and will cause misunderstandings, potentially conflict. For example, we are greeting our leaders this way, but they greeted them another way. What an insult. Or we are using this seating order. They put our leaders in a different seating order. What an insult. We package presents in this color, but they gave us presents in a color that symbolizes death in our culture. What an insult. These things happen many, many times until people saw that clearly, with no common approach, any international interaction can become a minefield. And since throughout most of human history, these meetings have been conducted with weaponry present, even armies standing outside, the incentive was strong to avoid such misunderstandings. So many, many centuries back in time, we're talking ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, they started harmonizing the procedures, the behavior, and basically all circumstances in order to standardize this modus operandi. And these sets of guidelines have, of course, changed, have been modified many times, of course, since those good old days, with some milestones like the First Vienna Convention of 1815, for example. You can learn about these with a simple Google search. But we're talking about practical diplomacy, right? So how much does classical protocol define modern, everyday diplomatic activities? Well, my answer is sometimes yes, mostly not. For example, you see, I always address ambassadors as Excellency, as one should, but 80% of the time they immediately say, "Hello, David, please just call me Susan or Stephen or whatever their name is." So immediately we are breaching protocol and it is good. Or I have served in some proper high humidity, high temperature tropical host countries. Now, how many were wearing their suit jackets at the heads of mission meetings? What do you think? Well, not many. And when I attended as charge, I sometimes realized, oh, I'm the only one. So it's time to strip the jacket and just continue sweating without it. So everyone was breaching protocol and it was all good. Or at receptions, which are theoretically supposed to be the most official and protocol guided events, it is funny how the arrival still goes according to the old norms, the receiving lines, salutations, the setting, all like 200 years ago. But as soon as you're in, you feel more like in a house party, getting to know ministers, ambassadors, big business leaders, as if they were just, friends of friends. My main experience about the keeping or leaving of protocol, I think, is that the more you trust the partners in attendance, the more easygoing, the more protocol-less the whole affair becomes. But does it mean protocol is overrated? No, not at all. It is highly necessary, because immediately as a participant arrives who is not in the trusted circle, or immediately as any opposing interest or even the topic of a conflict emerges, there are no awkward pauses. Everyone automatically slides back into the protocol, coming back to the known forms of polite communication, defined behavior, the nods, the talking points, etc. And everyone is accommodated in the situation in due manner. Once I've been having a laugh with the Turkish diplomat and the local Peruvian official about some random movie. It was a diplomatic reception, but the mood was like in a pub conversation. When the Greek deputy head of mission, otherwise also my friend, appeared. Now, in case you didn't know, Turkey and Greece are quite the rivals in the Eastern Mediterranean, with tons of grievances against each other. So let's just say they're not the first ones to randomly socialize. And there, without any delay or problem, protocol took over. The Turkish lady turned 100% professional, introduced herself to the Greek colleague, cards were exchanged, some superficial small talk took place, and we all went on with our lives as if nothing happened. So protocol served as a perfect buffer and a blueprint for a peaceful coexistence, a peaceful cooperation. I have seen some inflated egos of ambassadors when arriving to a seated dinner in Beirut, Lebanon, where we saw that there are no name cards on the table, so they thought it's free seating. And they wanted to sit closer to the main guests. They were polite in their gestures, but inching closer to those middle seats. And I've seen the sparks in their eyes, how much they really wanted. Probably they just wanted to be in the photos. But the order of precedence is very clearly established among ambassadors. This is actually a pretty hard element of protocol to avoid such misunderstandings, to avoid conflict within the diplomatic corps. So the organizers immediately appeared quietly, clarified who sits where, and all possible tension was immediately avoided. So protocol saved the day once again. There are many, many such examples. But I must say, in the everydays, you almost don't see anyone in the diplomatic corps who would strictly follow protocol. Usually the encounters are guided by friendly manners and casual, normal human interaction. So, go ahead and learn the customs of protocol. But if you get in any diplomatic situation, please just act normal. No need to be uptight. Just always be prepared that the easygoing style can switch to protocol-based behavior at any given moment. Thanks for watching. Keep promoting peace and see you in the next chapter.